Well, we were talking about beauty, but then I was going in to talk about how your mind, and yes, people say this is beauty, this is not, right? And that's how we decide that. But our mind also, like, it can't tell the difference from anything that we tell it. So why do we think the sky is blue? Because somebody said it was blue. Like,
Why is
how did,
cereal a breakfast food? I always bring that one up.
right, exactly. And so the same thing goes with your positive and negative thinking. Like, you are only thinking and focused on those negatives because you are telling your mind to focus and see those things. And so then you see more of them rather than if you start to. So you do an experience and it is negative and it is bad, but you can point out three positives from that experience. Your brain then will start to find more positives still rather than just only negatives. And it's so simple but so hard to do. But it really is a mindset thing because your brain literally doesn't know the difference between what is positive and what is negative. You've identified that that experience or that thing is negative, ugly, uncomfortable, scary. And yes, we make those decisions because of experiences in life and what other people tell us, but you also have the ability and decision to then change it and no
Mhm.
longer say that it is scary, ugly, uncomfortable, negative if you don't want to. You don't have an intensity problem. Your nervous system just moves fast. Welcome back to season 2 of Go Be Too Much. This season, we're not shrinking, fixing, or filtering, we're expanding. Expanding your voice, your capacity, your nervous system, your ability to hold more without losing yourself in the process. If you ever felt like you were too much, this is where that becomes your power. And hey, this podcast is for you. So if there's something you wanted us to talk about, break it down, or go deeper on, fill out the listener form link below. This is your space to be unapologetic, unfiltered, unfinished, and unmissable. So, with that, welcome to Go Be Too Much. I'm MJ, the host. Mandy and Cassie here with me.
Welcome to
And
the late night shit show.
it's a late night. Yeah, we get this is a whole other level when we record these at night, and we're sure that you all can tell that by now. But we're just out here doing the best that we can do because our lives are just popping off in all the best of ways. And with that being said, don't forget, if you haven't already, give a look to the Go Be Too Much website. The link is below or on
Guys, I
TikTok.
just looked it up. It's right there in front of me.
Below is the link for the Go Be Too Much website, or you can find it in the TikTok link tree, should be there as well. And I've had my first 2 lives already, and I am going to be having, you'll see on the site, the future dates that you can get set up in to participate in more masterclasses that teach you on the pivot method. So tonight we started talking about mindset because we were talking about what decides if something is beautiful or not beautiful. Because recently I decided to do a little spicy photo shoot for myself. And I actually was supposed to have done this almost almost 2.5, 3 years ago. She was doing a massive sale, trying to do some promotion things, discounts, this and that. And I was like, you know what? Why not? And at the time, I was freshly divorced and in a bit of a spicy spot for the wrong reasons. And I thought, what better revenge than to go do a shoot to look great, right? Well, my life had a lot of life happening. And so I kept having to reschedule and not do those things. And well, everything happens for a reason. And when I did this photo shoot, it had nothing to do with my divorce. It had nothing to do with revenge. It had nothing to do from a place of lack or negativity. It had everything to do with just celebrating me, loving me, thinking that, God, I'm great. I'm hot. Let's do it. And I'm so thankful for the lady that I did it with because she made me feel so comfortable. And I was talking about how during the process, though, she would be hyping you up and making comments and, oh, you got those like siren eyes or something, she said to me at one point, because I like opened my eyes and looked at the camera and she was like I'm hot. And in my head, I'm thinking, hell yeah. And then all of a sudden, creep comes in. I was like, she does that with everybody. Like she know better than toxic people out here lying to my face, gaslighting me. And then I thought, what damn minute. Like, so what if that's her job to hype me up and say the positive thing? Like, what? Of course that's true. She's not just saying it because it's her job. And so we were then talking about that our mind only knows what beauty is because we have been told and taught and learned what is ugly, what is beauty. And so then I brought it up to educational purposes that our mind doesn't know the difference really between much of anything. It's what we decide for it to be. And so if you want to change your mindset, you have to challenge, where does that initial belief come from anyways?
Yeah, I think about it's like what you think about, you bring about. And so, like, it's like, is the glass half full or is it half empty? I mean, both are true. This goes back into duality of things. But if you want a different life, that's going to mean you have to look towards different things. And even if that girl was uh, a hype girl. Like you felt good in that moment. So why are you discounting yourself? Like you have beautiful siren eyes. Oh, she tells everybody that. Who gives a fuck? She told you. And
Mhm.
you deserve those compliments just as much as whoever else she told them to, right? Like, and it made you feel good. Those will come through in the photos, you know? Like, why do we do that to ourselves? Like, hey, this is so good, but or this is so good and this. Like, no, just
Live
period.
in the moment. Yeah. Right. But that's why I shared that in the moment, as fast as that old belief, that old negative thinking and place of low self esteem or whatever it is came creeping in, I immediately was like, wait a minute. Like, so what? Like, challenge that. Of course she thinks that. Of course I am. Why not? And that is new for me because there would have been a time that I wouldn't have done that I would have got pulled into that thinking and it would have been written all over my face and my body language and it would have taken away from the whole experience. But because in the moment I was able to immediately catch that and change it. And so it's one of my favorite sayings and I think we've said it before in season 1 at least once, but it's not really so much that things in life really change or get easier, it's that you get better. And so it's not that you're maybe never going to not have those old thoughts again or negative beliefs or get down on yourself or what make the bad choice that you shouldn't make. It's how fast do you catch it and do something different and act in a way that you now live your life.
How fast you're going to catch it and do something different. And
Right.
it goes back to that like failing successfully piece of like I feel this feels so philosophical. Like there is no do or do not. There just is. Like there just is. There are the decisions, there are the things. Like yes, our decisions, there are like what I want to eat for fucking breakfast. That's a low level decision. You know, am I going to shoot my shot with this individual or not? That's, you know, medium somewhere. Like, am I going to commit murder? Like, that's going to have more consequences, right? Like, I hope that we're having a lot more thought and reflection at this point than we are like fucking shredded wheats or waffles for breakfast or something like that. I hope that we can look at, understand, reflect that like there's levels to this shit. And but at the end of the day, like it is a decision. You made a decision, you acted on a decision. Were there consequences? Were there benefits? You know, what did we learn from the decision? And I think again, I see it so much with young people because they're just that's just in my face all the time of like they don't again, no frontal lobe. There's no frontal lobe. So there's no thinking it through. Like that's just not a thing. It's just they just don't think it the fuck through. And it's like that made a lot of sense in your head, didn't it? Like when you thought about that, it like really you really thought you were onto something. And they're like, fuck yeah, I did. And I'm like, so let's unpack that. Let's think about that a little bit more logistically. And it's you know, it is what
That
it
goes
is.
to when I tell my kid, I was like, consequences for your action. So then she just looks at me and rolls her eyes. Is this a consequence for my action? Yep.
Listen, we need fucking consequences or rewards or whatever it is. Like we need a response. Like that's the feedback that we get, right? If we didn't get feedback about if it was good or bad, if it was a consequence or a benefit, if again you eat the thing and it tastes like shit, I don't want to eat that again. Like that's not for me. But what tastes like shit for me does not taste like shit for you. And so like I don't I should not dictate your experiences. It's everyone's perception is different based on all of the things that we have talked about in so many different levels
Do
in
you think
different
that's why people
capacities.
have? Do you think that's why people have a hard time with constructive criticism?
Yes,
Yeah.
I would say probably yes. Because if you're not like if that's not modeled to you, like if you've not seen it happening or like grown up in a space where feedback was constructive, if it
Right.
was
Where they got a
attacking or
reaction and
accusing,
not a
reaction.
response makes
Right.
total difference because the reaction is going to make them, I mean, talk about now a new belief that they have.
Mm-hmm. I think that ties back into the previous episode when we were talking about that stuff. So I just was like, I wonder if that's why people just, because that's just not how they were taught, right? Like you were saying, it's you got a reactive response. And so if you're always getting yelled at, your natural response is to yell. So
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Or I mean, if you think about you grow up in households with the mentality or they say things like children are to be seen and not heard. Like because I said so mentality. Like
man, if I say that, I like try to catch myself
Ugh.
and I like, it's so
Sometimes
funny because I say it and I'm like,
say
because yes, because it's a safety thing. Because I fucking said so and I need you to get here right now. Like it is a safety thing and I am heightened. And because I've said it 15,000 fucking times already and I need you to listen to me and because I'm the adult and I'm big and you're small. What I say goes, you know, that whole shtick.
love the
All of
is
those
mature.
that the
things,
Trunchable?
yes, yes.
Loved
All of
it.
those things happen at the end of a fucking day. Okay. When the medicine has worn off, the nutrition is not there. The hydration is also not there. The patience, she's left the room. Okay. And, and the things just keep on needing things. The bills have to be paid. The kids need to be fed. It's still 100 degrees outside. You know, it's just, and that goes back to like regulating your nervous system. Sometimes we just can't do it on our own. Sometimes, like, you literally have to address the environment, the elements, the things that are going on. Like, you can woo woo, you can ground, you can listen to your playlist. But if it's, again, I tell my kids all the time, if I am pink in this region, you probably should say, hey, Miss Mandy, here's your ice pack, and just hit the bricks and try again later. Because if I am dysregulated temperature wise, I'm not going to be helpful to anyone, including myself. Like I have nothing for no one if I am on fire. I can't do it. I can't regulate anything. Nothing helpful comes out of my mouth at that point. But self-awareness, we all have to learn. I've had many meltdowns. I can't remember anything specific because they're all kind of like blurring right now, but I think I went home maybe I think this past fall for homecoming, and homecoming in Missouri is supposed to be like light jacket weather and beautiful. And this was like fucking steaming pumpkins because it was 95 degrees in September. And I was about to lose my shit because I had walked 25,000 steps. The sun was beating on my forehead. I hadn't had anything to eat. And I just shut down. It just happened. And I'm just like, I don't want to fucking talk to anyone. And my friend was so patient and stood there in the shade with me. And she's like, do we need this? Do we need that? And I was like, I need you to stop fucking talking. I don't want you to talk at me anymore. Like a fucking toddler who could not communicate my needs, but I'm just like, I need you to stop talking. And I realized when I get activated is where my pleasantries and my niceties fly out the window because I have been patient and I have tried to communicate this to you in many different ways and you haven't listened. So now you can fuck right off and you're an idiot. Goodbye. I just need quiet time in my enclosure and I'll be fine.
Space, let her simmer.
Give me a fucking ice pack. An ice
And
pack
that's why I go to a
on a
dark
snack.
room,
Hmm.
Go to the dark
dark,
room.
quiet
Yes.
room.
Right.
Yes. I put
But
my
I mean, that's
headphones in because I don't want to
important.
hear nothing.
You know, I talk about that a lot with my veterans because a lot of them afterwards went into being cops or, you know, intensive careers after the military. And they talked about then all that intensity and coming home. And the minute that they could get home, you know, they're needed and that's understandable. They also need to come home and decompress first. And I will never forget one of my very first classes in undergrad. And the professor said, I'm going to teach you a whole lot of things and a lot of it's important. But the most important thing I'm going to teach you is right now. And that is if you don't know a way to ground yourself and shift from your day to day, you will never make it in the field of psychology. And it was beautiful. And he talked about that what he did, that was he would get home and he had a tree outside his house. He literally would stand there with his hand like on the tree until he felt himself like take a deep breath and be able to then go in the house and be present and be with his family. But otherwise, he wouldn't. And so I've learned to teach my kids like some days are heavy because the topics were heavy and people talked at me all day. And I don't need to be talked at anymore right now. And I don't need to be talked at about other problems and things happening. And I want to hear your problems and I want to hear about your day. So give me a few minutes to go take a bath without being interrupted, and then I'll come find you. And it's doing that without having guilt that I'm damaging, that I'm not prioritizing, that I'm, and knowing that we got to put the oxygen mask on first. We have to regulate, because if I have a heavy day at work and I don't regulate, then I'm already starting life dysregulated. And that is the thing that's why I want so much with Go Be Too Much to help with nervous system regulation and education, is because pretty much everybody is functioning dysregulated from the life that they have had and experiences that they have had. And even if you had a good life and minimal negative things happen, guarantee you your nervous system isn't actually coming from a regulated place, and you're making decisions and actions and behaviors from a dysregulated place.
Because we don't live in a society, at least here in the West. I won't speak for, the whole world, but like here in the West, in the States, like we don't live in a society that rewards a regulated nervous system, or even is fucking set up for a
No,
regulated
they
nervous
want you
system.
working 6 jobs and
Yes, because
barely
it keeps you
surviving.
on edge. It keeps you on edge. It keeps you reaching for
Fear.
convenience. It keeps you in fear of things. It keeps you from quitting that job because you're going to be homeless. And if you lose your home because you lost your job, you're a loser. You're not worth it. Or if you can't pay your bills because minimum wage is 22 cents and a gallon of gas is $200, like you're the failure, not the systems. Like, don't look at this. It's you. You're the problem. And when you're too frazzled because the earth is literally on fire and life is not affordable, if you're too frazzled and all of that, then you can't take that deep breath. You can't regulate your nervous system and be like, all right, fuck that. We're going to go, we're going to go over here. We're going to go manifest some joy and some peace and keep it pushing, because we don't have those opportunities currently. I won't say ever. Your teacher story, Mary, made me think of the millennial equivalent of that is sitting in your car when you get home from work and just scrolling or sitting or just not getting out of the car right away, not walking into the house. It's I need to take a good sit. I need to sit here and bake in the car, or fucking finish the song, or just scroll on my phone. And then, 20 minutes later, you're like, fuck, I should go in the house. I should go
I
in
do
here and
that all the time,
do the second part of my day. It's
which is also
yeah,
funny because I spend most of my day in my car. So the fact that I just stay there to
but you're driving a
decompress.
fucking manual the whole time. You don't get to
Yeah, because
decompress in
you're
it.
driving, you're
Can I
thinking
just
about
say I'm
work.
so excited to get an automatic? Like when I drive Rick's truck, it is a luxury. And the other day I don't remember what we were doing. Like I had dropped them off somewhere and I was going to the bank while they were doing whatever. And I had a panic moment and I about shoved my foot through the floorboard where there was no clutch because I was like, oh yeah. I was like, this is so nice. I just need to push a brake. And I got back and Rick's like, what? And I was like, man, you would have thought I had a heart attack because I thought I was rolling. Because I always put it in neutral when I'm at a stop because why would I leave it in first? Because then you have to have anyways, that's a whole thing for people who don't drive, whatever. But I was panicking. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to roll. And I wasn't. So mild panic attack.
It's a metaphor for life in there, right? Cassie driving an automatic is Cassie with a regulated nervous system.
Yeah.
Cassie in a manual is a dysregulated system. You took Cassie out of the environment she is used to, You put her in the regulated nervous system, the automatic, and she's still freaking the fuck out because she's so used to like, wait, knee-jerk response. Wait, nope,
What a
nope, it's
great
okay here.
analogy.
It's
It's like,
okay
but
here.
that is so true. And Cassie and I have talked about it so much with our journeys recently and things with spirituality and everything on top of all of this. And that you don't realize coming out of being dysregulated, coming out of survival, how much your body physically is going to respond to that. And that like you will sleep. And in the last, I can tell you, 3 years since getting divorced and coming out of survival and regulating like, there have been long periods of time where I'm like, what happened? And I think back on it, I'm like, I did what I had to as far as work and my kids, but I slept. I slept a lot. I had to take mental health days to sleep because my system is coming into being regulated and coming out of that. And we don't realize how much our bodies respond to those things and they tell us those things. And we're not really taught to listen to that. And again, I don't fault people really for that because nobody has been being taught those things and it's not being encouraged. And I just actually had a go be too much session last night and talking about that part of why this individual has probably been sick the last few weeks on a Sunday night is because she does not want to go into her place of employment. And she now doesn't have to go into that place of employment anymore. And I am going to be interested to hear how she stops throwing up.
I was about to
Because
say, I'm here to tell you the job is not fucking worth it.
right. And again, always, I say it always, check mental health and check the physical health. But after that, like your body telling you those things is your body responding. Your body is trying to inform you. It's trying to let you know, don't do this, do this, those kinds of things. And we don't listen to it. A great book, if anybody's wanting to have some reading material, would be The Body Keeps the Score. And it talks a lot about how our bodies respond and energy and understanding it, remembering those things. And I teach that even with EMDR because in EMDR, a lot of times I have people that have a couple sessions where they may not have a whole lot of thoughts and things come up, but they'll cry or they'll feel the anxiousness like in their body and they'll start to sweat and they'll get red in the face and things like and their body is responding because their body has been holding on to that trauma just as much as their mind. And you have to release it in both ways. That's why exercise is good for you. That's why dancing is actually really great because it gets those vibrations out. I mean, I literally, in front of my kids, have recently, just my oldest, been in a situation where Mama Bear, she was there, and the energy was so intense and negative, and not my energy, and I don't want any part of that. And I literally I shook it off. And she's like, what are you doing? I was like, I don't want it. Like, I live in a place of peace and relaxed and regulated. Like, get it off of me. And it was funny, but me doing that, she saw that and could see how then I like came back. Like, then I was, whew, all right. Like, I'm okay now. Right. And she could see that shift and see that actually work. And for a kiddo who sometimes feels, I think, a lot of anger and doesn't know what to do with it and doesn't want to express it because two particular individuals in her life that have anger, she doesn't want to be anything like that. And so it helped her to see that and show that. But I can tell you there's a time in my life I wouldn't have responded that way. And the mama bear would have been not just mama bear, she would have been nasty and out of control. So again, get yourself regulated and you can still have those moments of intensity, but you are regulated in the intensity then.
I think that's a lot of things in my life manifest as anger because that's just where my default goes. That's my protective piece that pops up. But, again, going back to what society teaches us or what we've seen or what we haven't seen is, anger is not an emotion that is associated with women. Men can be angry. Men can have those big anger emotions, but women have to be the moms, have to be the caregivers, have to be the teachers, have to be the therapists, have to be all of the things you have to regulate. You have to do the things. So like, you can't be big, scary, mad, angry. You have to figure it. So what ends up happening is we shut that down or we don't feel it. We don't deal with it. We don't address it. Anger is a protective piece. Like it has gifts in the same way that, happiness and joy does. It's just, it's going to look different. Being angry is like that indicator, like get away from me or like stay away from me or like, hey, I need a moment. And maybe we didn't realize we needed a moment and our body had that big outburst. So staying regulated in that moment to be like, okay, what do I need? What is the need in this moment? How do I regulate? How do I like get to a place where I can be like, okay, I'm not actually angry. I am embarrassed. I am frustrated. I am overwhelmed. I am all of the things. We've got all the things happening in the house over there. Woof, woof, bark, bark.
Babysitting my brother's dog, so who knows?
Mine's currently snoring louder than anything, so
Chat.
I think it was good that no, you're good. I think it was good that you brought that up of like we instantly say that it's a negative thing and like I'm just mad, but what is that masking? And I think that's a lot of what people are doing too, and like even stuff that I'm learning, like I mask a lot of things and it's like unlearning the things that I had to do when I was just trying to survive and learning healthier ways to do it. And like I would say a lot of the time if I get mad, it's because I'm embarrassed. And like trying to recognize that but also work through it and not be mad that I'm mad about it's like a double-edged sword. You're like, why are you being so stupid, Cassie? Like, why'd that trigger you? But at the same time, like, why are you embarrassed? Like, what and it could be the stupidest thing, but I'm like, what small piece of it, because it's not the whole situation, right? It's always going to be just a little thing. And it's like, just when I think that I'm doing good, I find another piece I got to fix. This is bullshit.
Straight up
You
bullshit.
learned this lesson.
Probably not the first time, but I'm trying.
Won't be the last.
But we learned and we recognized and we're a little bit better this time. See, progress.
Kind of had a pivot where of course that triggered us. Again, it's not that it gets easier. It's not that it gets less things happen. You just get better.
I
And
think it goes into
sometimes
being self-aware.
I was like, and sometimes you getting better it's not going to look how you think it should. Cause I use my kiddo, bless her soul. She had graduation yesterday and long story longer, things were not going how she had planned them in her head. And I was like, hey, you remember that time when we went prom dress shopping and you said the thing like, I just didn't think my dress was going to be green. She's like, I thought my dress was black. In my head, it was black. And you wouldn't let yourself like the green dress because in your head, it was black. It did not matter that this dress looked amazing on you. It did not matter that you felt good in the dress. It was like, it's not a black dress. That's not what I thought in my head. That's not what I wanted. Well, same thing, different font with graduation yesterday. It didn't look how she had it in her head. I was like, all right. We waited until the 11th hour to try something new with our hair and it didn't go well, but we graduate in 3 hours and you have been counting down the days till you graduate since I've known you. You've been counting down the days and it is finally here and you are not going to miss it. You can crash out. You can be as sad and angry and all the things as you want. But we are going to fix this. We are going to take a deep breath. I need you to go eat something because I know you haven't eaten. I know you haven't seen any water today. So I need you to go eat. I need you to hydrate. And then we're going to try again. We're going to try again. And it's okay if it doesn't look like it did in your head. It's okay. Our expectations are our biggest fucking up. They are such hoes. And it's just getting to a place where you can regulate yourself and be like I had to gentle parent myself the last time I went to a concert and my hair was not doing what I needed it to do. And I literally so one of my things growing up that I didn't realize was like my ADHD was vocal stimming. And my family makes fun of me to this day because I would sing things like opera style, just take a regular phrase, whatever it is, regular song. But now I have to sing an opera because that was how I was regulating. That is how I was like calming myself down. And in the bathroom at the hotel where I was having my fucking mental breakdown over my hair, it was like, okay, I'm hot. I need ice packs. I need that. I'm like, it's going to be okay. I need my hair off my face. I need to just sit in front of the air real quick. I need to just like, it's okay. It is okay. We got here. We're doing things. It is okay. But that is a 37-year-old Mandy having to sit the hell down and talk very nicely to probably 15-year-old me. It's probably 15-year-old me who permed her hair dreaming of perfect curls and then I had a wet mop. is what my brain told me was on my head, and it had no curl whatsoever because that's not what my hair was known for. I say all that to say, like, it takes time and you will still get dysregulated. And sometimes you're going to be able to get yourself regulated. Sometimes you're just fucking not. And you're just going to have to like sit there in that crash out and let it pass through you until you can get to the other side and be like, all right, then we'll try again. Or I'm not. Or that's
Thought your
never going
hair
to
looked
happen
so
again.
cute for that concert, though. I remember you sending us
Thank
a
you.
snap on that because you were like, I'm crashing out right now. This is fucking terrible. And I'm like, why? Like, your hair looks so good. And again, that just goes to like where we are our own worst enemy. God, say that 10 times fast. You know what I mean? Because I was like, I thought your hair looked freaking adorable, but you were like, I'm crashing out. It's not doing what I wanted to do.
It took me forever to get there. We got there. I had to regulate. I had to sit down. I had to do all the things, but we got there. I had to ask for help. I had to ask for fucking help because I said I couldn't ask for help because I knew that she was in pain and trying to put a braid in my hair was going to cause her more pain. And then I'm a burden to someone. And I'm not going to be a burden to anyone because I can't be a burden to anyone and fucking crash out. That's no, absolutely not. But I had to phone a friend. I was like, I at least need you to hold this so I could see it. I can't see it. And that was my crash out. And there's another metaphor, if you will. I'm full of fucking metaphors at graduation time, y'all. Tomorrow is the last day of my contract of the school year, and I'm full of a metaphor. Can't see. You can't fix what you can't see. Okay? You can't fix what you can't see. So sometimes you have to phone a friend or find a fucking tool so you can just see it and deal with it and get over it. The end. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Say you talking about your vocal stems and that was how you were regulating yourself. I don't know why, but that totally just made me like, oh my God, me quoting in TV shows and movies and things is totally
Yep.
Oh my gosh,
my
me
regular,
too.
like,
Same.
Mhm.
I'm like, I
You
just
do
thought
quotes, you do movies.
yeah, I
Well,
was like,
instantly,
I was like, I just thought about
as soon as
TV
she
and
said it,
quoting it.
I thought of Step Up and Moose being like, it tastes like candy canes on Christmas. Like, instantly went right through my head when she said that. I was like, damn.
When she was saying it, I heard How I Met Your Mother and Have You Met Ted? Like, and I just was like, what? And I'm like, oh my God, quoting Friends, quoting
Mhm.
all these, like, could you be more right? Like, I'm like, oh my God, that's how I've regulated
I'm
myself is
tired,
through, and I still
Grandpa.
do.
That's just too damn bad.
That's too damn bad.
And what? We had Matilda earlier and
I was
Reba
gonna say
in
we
the
had the
last
Trunchable
episode.
earlier. Yeah.
And the
Note to
ADHD
self.
squirrels are back in the yard, friends.
Somebody round them up.
Oh, I don't know if we can do that. It's getting a little hard for that at this point.
I was like, yeah, I'm an hour ahead of you guys, so I can only imagine.
Yeah. And like you said, Mandy, tomorrow for you, school, my kids, they're done tomorrow. We're all ready for summer. It doesn't mean we're slowing down at all. We've got great, fun, exciting things happening personally, professionally, spiritually.
And we're all doing our fucking best. And sometimes your best is going to look clean and polished to everyone else and feel like an internal battle for you. And sometimes it's going to be pretty fucking obvious that we're
The struggle is
struggling,
real.
but that doesn't mean we're not doing our best. That does not mean that we are not giving it our all and that we are not doing our best. And it doesn't mean that we can't do better when we have more spoons or when we have more capacity. It just means that we are doing our best in the motherfucking moment. And sometimes that has to be enough. That has to be enough because that's all we got.
Well,
The
one thing
alternative
is for
is
sure, the three of us are definitely doing it from a better place of awareness and regulation. And that is part of why we're doing this, is to try and help other people figure out how to do that too. And I wanted to just put it out there that if you're ever thinking about what I want to work with MJ through life coaching and what could she do? We live in different states. She can't adjust the mental health part of it. Well, I can still help you with regulating your nervous system and educating you. And one particular set of skills that I now have because of my certificates is EFT tapping, which is all about rewiring those positive thoughts and affirming yourself and connecting the body and the mind in your actions and how you do it. So just a little snippet of what could be offered and helpful for you.
little nugget in there.
Love
I
it.
love that. I love that plug. It's like she's got our business hat on, guys. She's
I
ready.
know, really. I just It just came to me in the moment.
The squirrels are now back and they are tame.
They are tired.
They're
They-
tired. They're ready
they
for
are
bed.
powering
They're
down.
ready for bed. Well, with that, I think that we are going to let you go and be too much, be all that you are, and we'll see you next time. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.